Next stop while we're here in Springfield, the Wonders of Wildlife Museum at this gigantic Bass Pro Shop. Been to this Bass Pro a few times in previous trips here to Springfield. This is our first time here since this is open. I had to walk pretty far to get this shot. This place is massive. The word so far is big. I mean, everything is massive. This tank is, goodness, 3 stories high, easy. A lot of these displays are multi-story displays. Got life-size sharks and whales and squids all over the place. It's big. Presidential seal doing here? And the answer is Bass Force One, which was actually gifted to George W. Bush. The seats on this thing. It's very low lighting in here, so I'm not sure how well the video quality is going to come out, but it's definitely mood lighting going on.
Those are the souls that Ursula kept. To live in her garden forever.
This room in particular, it is like nighttime in here. So there's lots of stuff I wish I could record, but you just wouldn't see it. It would just look black. So.
These are stingrays looking funny. Some are very funny, but looking into you. And you want to pet them and look. Get away. And look.
Do they bite?
No, they don't bite. They're funny. I like this place because I like the stingrays. Them are very friendly. They want to come to you, put your hand in the water. They want to come to you, just like them, wait for it, and they can just get out of the water, and you just put your hand down a lot, and one can come to your hand, that's why you can pet them.
All right, Mama, what was your favorite part?
I don't know, there was so much. I did really enjoy getting to pet the stingrays though. They were so squishy. And that one was really friendly and kept trying to eat my hand. So, I'm delicious.
Okay, well I guess stingrays were a popular exhibit there.
But
since that's the only thing of that whole place that anyone wants to talk about leaving.
no, I really liked the fish tornado too. It was really soothing to watch.
Yeah, and you got to see it from all the different angles, including from below. That was pretty neat. But Yeah, a lot of areas are really cool. I wish we could have filmed more, but it was so dark and so much of it is very ambient kind of mood lighting. What's wrong?
You put a leaf in it.
What's wrong? You want to know why there's not more commentary during these kinds of things? That's why. Because there is always a kid crying, falling, needing something, or just getting on each other's nerves. So usually can't get much of a stretch without someone needing a parent. But we are leaving here and going to a family dinner at Andrea's mom's house. So time to go rescue the dogs. Stuck in the camper all day. Alright, so today was a slow day where we pretty much just hung out in the camper all day, so we decided to give Ian a little bit of fun time and go roller skating. What you got?
Nacho. And they got nacho. And one drink.
It's my kid. Nacho. Thousands of them, you're gonna have to pay me or something. That sounds like a lot of work.
That would take a lot of days.
That would take a lot of days.
Like maybe 1,000 days to feed 1,000 butterflies.
Gonna have to set up some sort of ticket system with them.
So, alright. We have left Springfield and we are headed down south, so we're going to go through Branson and then down into Arkansas.
Or Arkansas, as the northerners like to say. About to drive through Branson right now, which was one of my favorite places to go as a kid because I grew up here. And it is beautiful and hilly, and the drive is really pretty when you drive through places like this. And so we're heading down to Arkansas, like I said, to Hot Springs National Park, where we will be staying at Gulpha Gorge Campground, and really excited about that because one, there's a creek there and I love all things to do with water, and two, I heard from a little birdie online that the water in Hot Springs has healing benefits. So we'll test that out because Mama's neck hurts.
Yeah, if you hear the truck screaming right now, these hills are steep and very long. So I think up until this point we've averaged with the trailer right about 8 miles a gallon. I'm pretty sure this drive is gonna be a good bit lower than that. So we decided to take a scenic route through the Ozark-St. Francis National Forest as we go through Arkansas, which doesn't really add much time. I think it added like 20 minutes to our drive time. It's actually a shorter distance. You're just not going as fast, right? Because it's some winding roads and more narrow roads. We'll see if that's worth it. I'll say we've just had to fill up at basically the only gas station within like 100 miles, right? We weren't even really needing gas. We were at like a half a tank or something like that. But because there's not going to be another gas station for a while, we had to fill up there. And it was the most expensive gas station we've even seen. Not just filled up at, but the most expensive gas station we've seen this entire trip. It was about 80 cents more than we just filled up last when we were in Springfield. And I mean, obviously we went to the cheapest gas station around there. So I mean, there was maybe a 20-cent spread there, but this is 80 cents more per gallon than we just filled up at. Which when you're only getting, 8 miles a gallon, is a lot. We paid probably an extra, you know, 10-15 bucks only filling up half a tank. And so we're gonna see if that was worth it. We're gonna get a good time lapse, hopefully, of us going through this forest, and we'll see if that was worth the extra 15 bucks filling up down here in the middle of nowhere. Thinking to myself that second trip in, or 6 days in so far, that everything had been going a little too well, right? We haven't had any big issues, and well, we finally did. So we're on a narrow 2-lane road, and there's a little puppy walking alongside, and of course Andrea insists that we stop and turn around to go get it, and there's no room to turn around. I mean, it is a narrow 2-lane road with ditches on both sides, but she absolutely insists, and so we turn around. And we make the turn, and we turn around just fine, except that, as you imagine, with this raised road, we scrape a good bit. And so here's the aftermath of us doing this turnaround. So you got this rear stabilizer. We lost this cap. Come around to the other side. This rear stabilizer, that little piece of frame in there, and stabilizer number 3, all bent sideways and jacked up, which, you know, we're pulling into Gulpha Gorge. You know, we actually just passed it to get here. You know, we called around, and thankfully we found a place right here that had some in stock. And so came here, picked up some spares, and now we're gonna go to the campground and see if possibly I can get them in tonight, so we're not rocking all through the night, but worst case, you know, install these tomorrow to fix that up. Other than that, it doesn't seem that much else went wrong, except this little spot right here. You can see the hitch, you know, was put in a pretty bad spot and ended up kind of contacting right here. I think anything major there. A little bit on the other side, well, the same, but we will evaluate. Other than that, I mean, I looked all along the bottom and I don't see anything else that's terribly wrong. But we only got a few minutes of sunlight left, and we got to go park and get set up initially, at least, so time to get back on the road again. So, because it gets dark so early here, I didn't get to film any of this, but last night I was able to get these nice new stabilizer jacks installed all throughout. And so we got all set up here. You can see the old ones sitting here that need to get dumped, that are very bent. Here is our setup here. So to put chairs out. It was dark, so we weren't going to spend much time out here then, but the dogs are tied up right now. But here's our view. We are right on this creek here. You can see the little waterfall off in the distance. We're next to this pavilion, and there's a trail that leads right up and over there that we're going to take later on, but this is right off of our campsite. That's what we got. We're gonna get kids ready and go explore hot springs here. All right, so we are on Bathhouse Row right now. We're about to go into the visitor center so we can get the Junior Ranger booklet so that Ian can work on the Junior Ranger activities while we walk around. We're gonna hit Bathhouse Row. We're gonna go right over to the Grand Promenade and get to feel some of the hot spring water. Fill up some water bottles full of the water and that kind of stuff. Gonna explore around. Hi. Is it cold?
So cold.
Better, we would have brought big jug, but this is what I have: my tumbler and an empty Propel bottle in true me fashion. So it comes out of here, I think, like what, like 120-ish? I don't know. Comes out hot, so it's not really pleasurable to drink, right? Unless you're making hot tea. But as you can see, a lot of people come here and fill up big giant jugs because it's supposed to have like healing properties, and a lot of people use it like for their face washing, and of course the bathhouses, people go there and take baths in it. It's kind of like an Epsom bath almost, but not. So, got my bottle of hot springs water. I'm excited. I'm gonna make some hot tea with it later. Now, let's see what hot water tastes like. It's actually good tasting water.
And the water that comes out of these fountains has been treated to like municipal standards, so that's why they have, you know, some of these fountains like this specifically, rather than, you know, the other areas that we've seen around here where you could theoretically fill up a jug. You know, this is treated water, so it is safe to drink.
It was nice and cool and warm. The other one, I put my hair in. It was fun and it was like, this water is so warm.
On a mission to find the Goat Rock. Say hi, Luke.
Hi,
You're not supposed to say hi, Luke.
Luke.
That's your name, you weirdo. So most of us have finished our break time, except these ones. He's eating a rock.
You're not a penguin.
Go!
that. And we're getting to see it at sunset. There's Mama and Luke, they're trucking. They're coming. They're close. This is pretty. And so here's Goat Rock. This is what we climbed all that way to get to. It was so high, but we did it.
We won! Wait,
Jacob,
no, I
we
won.
did it. We did it. We did it. We did
I
it.
won. Because I was the fastest one and I got up here so quick. For all of you get up here.
There they are.
Alright, so we are packing up. We just finished stowing away the inside of the RV. Kids are loaded. The only thing left to do is hook up to the trailer, which is always enjoyable. I'm still not that great at backing the truck up or giving directions. Hopefully I'll get there. Hopefully. But we are extending our trip by a day and going to Cooper Lake, just so that we're not on the road for 5 hours. It's about 3 hours away. We'll stay there, and then the next day we'll head on back to Waco. But right now, the kids are loaded, the dogs are loaded. This is all we got left to do, so I'm gonna get off here and do it. Okay, well, we have made it to Cooper Lake State Park, and there's barely any daylight left, so not a whole lot of outside time for the boys, but they're getting a little bit in. You can probably hear them in the background. I'm sure the whole campsite can hear them in the background. But we actually got a pull-through site, you guys can see, which was super easy for pulling in. I don't know if you guys can see the sunset, but it is pretty gorgeous. Love it. But got our slide out, everything's hooked up. The campsite's really pretty. We've seen lots of deer, which is always fun for the boys. They like to call out to all the different animals, the noises and stuff that they make. So a lot of our drives are filled with moo and neigh, and I don't really know what a deer says, so that's just, oh hey, look, a deer. But the name of this campsite is actually Deer Haven, so we should be seeing a lot of them. Campsite itself is actually really big. We've got the picnic table all the way up here and a lantern thing. This is where people would normally set up a tent. We've got Archer's trees. And there we are.
Well, we made it home, and I don't even really know what to make out of this, but as we were finally wrapping up all the cleaning and dealing with everything on the inside, came around to lock up and noticed that apparently at some point in that last stretch, we lost a window. Now, I mean, what's crazy is, so this is where the window, I guess, like it, you know, adheres on the bottom and then up here at the top, which means it actually just, you know, this adhesive that held it on just failed. And so when it failed on the bottom, it at some point obviously hinged up, because this piece right here, right, it can hinge up, and it shattered against the top because we've got broken glass up on top of the slide and up on top of that window. So I mean, nothing hit it, right? And you can see there's nothing wrong with, you know, anything on the side of it or anything like that. But now we've got all these spots where the glass is like scratched and done some damage to the piece up there. But I mean, it just came clean off the bottom and then swung up and shattered itself all over the place up there. So there's no big potholes, no big bumps or anything that we hit. Certainly didn't sideswipe anything or anything like that, but very, very strange. So another fun call for the dealer in the morning to figure out what we're gonna do, because we're leaving in, you know, just over a week. So I don't know if this is something that they stock right at the dealer or if this is something they can get in time, because, you know, it's got these fancy frameless windows. Otherwise we might be garbage bagging a window for our next trip. Stay tuned. So we got back on Sunday. It is now Tuesday. We have been in touch with both the dealership as well as Forest River about the window issue. And so Forest River has agreed to warranty it out, given that there's that, you know, just total failure of that adhesive bond. And, you know, when I looked into it, actually back in 2020, they issued a recall on all these frameless windows for this exact issue, which was the adhesive bond was failing and could send windows, you know, flying off as projectiles, which is what happened to us, right? You know, at some point there as we were driving down. And so it's no longer under a recall, but they did agree, I mean, no questions asked, right, to warranty it out. And so the dealer put in the claim. The rep at Forest River was very helpful in getting that, you know, immediately approved as a warranty claim. But the lead time on the window is 8 weeks. So the rep at Forest River, you know, said that she's going to try to get in touch with Lippert about expediting that, and that there's a possibility, right? Sometimes they have luck with that. But in any case, you know, we've got a trip coming up next week, and so we can't wait, you know, 8 weeks or 4 weeks or anything. I mean, right? We could do a trash bag and duct tape kind of fix, but given that it's going to be pretty cold, not quite freezing, but cold for this next trip, and you know, we're going to be putting some good miles in on that round trip. I wanted to do something a little bit better, so we got a sheet of acrylic that we're going to go over to the camper right now in the storage unit, and I'm going to do two things. So we're going to put this sheet of acrylic up, you know, cut it to size as best as we can do, and we will adhere that up in the place of the glass pane that came off. And the second thing we're going to do is blow out all the lines on the trailer, because it is going to get down into the teens here in a few days. For a good 36, you know, almost 48 hours, we're going to be below freezing. And so we don't want to do a full winterization really, because, you know, we're going to be back in the trailer again using it next week. But I also don't want to, you know, come back next week to go on this trip and we've got lines burst or anything. So we're gonna go blow out all the lines and, you know, put antifreeze in all the P-traps and drains and that kind of thing, and should be plenty good. So we're on the way to the storage unit right now. I've got my helper, and we'll let you guys see what we're up to. So here we have our temporarily repaired window here. Of course, the sun's coming in, so it's really emphasizing the satin finish. So spray paint kind of speckled in some spots, which, you know, is what it is. I mean, it's not like this was going to fool anybody right into thinking that this was the real window, but I did go ahead and just for the heck of it and put some duct tape here. I had black duct tape anyways. around the top and on that left side. That way wind coming through isn't grabbing it and shaking it and moving it, as well as it kind of forces it against that seal for any water intrusion. This one's actually against the seal really well, so I'm not really concerned about that one. So I think this will be perfectly functional to last us, you know, however many weeks it takes for the part to get in from Lippert. The Forest River rep did email me, let me know that they did contact Lippert, and so supposedly they're gonna try to expedite the part, but you know, what does that mean? Who knows, right? It could mean that it comes in a week, could means that I get it in, you know, maybe 6 weeks instead of 8, and that's expedited technically. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna sit around and wait with the garbage bag over there for 6 weeks or for however long this may end up taking, right? So this, not a wonderful permanent fix, but it'll do the job. It'll keep water out, keep bugs and stuff out while we're out traveling around, because the traveling's not stopping. Not letting a little thing like this stop our plans here, and we got plans. So we will be traveling out and about. We'll be leaving here in, I think, just about a week. Exactly, yeah, next Tuesday. For our next stop, yeah, got the plane there. Our storage unit is right across from a small airport. So you get a lot of these 2-seaters and whatnot flying over us while we're out here. But that's it. All I gotta do now is throw all this stuff back in the front compartment where I had to crawl into, and then grab my air compressor and close up. All right, see you in the next one.